In our last Clint Eastwood WarnerCember, we'll take a look at one that came out not very long ago. It was a movie called Macho, which released back in 2021, around the time when Warner Bros. Was releasing their films both in theaters and on streaming for 30 days. And most people watched the film on HBO Max, which was called at the time. And in this song in Mexico, Clint Eastwood plays Mike, a former uh, radio, rodeo, and horse rider who was considered a macho, and he spends in the film hanging out with his nephew and his or whose father whose father is called a he's also called a macho, and he also owns a rooster, which he would later name Macho, and gives it to Mike. And they have and throughout the film they interact with each other and have some serious conversations. And they also have some decent interaction with several other people, like Martha and the daughters, especially with Martha when Mike uh, has some interest in her, especially during like when they danced in the middle and at the very end of the film. Then later halfway through, they have some kind of funny interaction with the police, where who Mike calls them a-holes. I thought that was kind of funny interaction, and briefly of a psychopath for a bit. And I thought the film was okay. It's not as dramatic. The drama it doesn't doesn't hit me as much like it did with $1 Million Baby, but the film overall is okay. Like I said, the actors did the best they could. Clint Eastwood also directed this film, so it was interesting. So it's interesting to know, and there was some, I guess, decent direction from him, and his acting did a good job. And the kid in this movie, I thought he did a, did did a good job in the role, honestly. And the other actors that show up in it, they're fine. They did the best that they could. I thought the story overall that revolves around Macho and the uncle and nephew relationship was kind of an interesting story. I thought that was very interesting, honestly. And visually, the film looks okay. It's a western that takes place in Mexico, and it reminds me a little bit of Logan visually, and maybe Mandalorian. Um, and the film looked decent. And I thought, uh, the way we get to introduce to the kid and his rooster, that was an interesting introduction. And like overall, the film is alright. It's not anything big or awesome, but it's a fine Clint Eastwood movie. And I don't know what's gonna happen with his last film, whether or not that comes out already, or I don't know. But that's my review of my last WarnerCember Clint Eastwood movie, Crime Macho, released back in 2021. Check you later. I also thought the horse riding scenes were scenes that they had. Not they didn't have a lot, but they were decent. And when Mike brings the kid back to Texas, I thought that was a good way to end the film. I thought that was really good. And but overall, it's a decent movie. Decent.